Hi guys, it's me Chris and welcome back to Maverick Next Gen. It's been a long time and I'm sorry for the wait. I'm finally going to put together this video for you about how to fix a trapped or a lodged power button. But what that means is there's so many things that you need to prepare for, and what I've done is I've got a video together. It was an hour long and I've speeded it up by 4 times so that I will walk you through the video step by step. And I'll also show you what you need beforehand and what to look out for. So what we have here is the Remarkable. This, my friends, is the new case, the new back that I put on there. Now, what you'll find is, so as we all know, this is the back, the original back of the Remarkable, okay? And if I look, if I show you closely, if we go here, you can probably see that there's slight bubbling here, and that is because when I use the heat gun here to go over it, it's deformed it slightly, because essentially this back grey thing is a plastic, a thermoplastic, and if you're not careful, you're going to bubble it. So I always knew that I wanted to replace the back of the Remarkable with something more substantial, and if I take it apart, what's going to happen is, imagine this now. This is sticky back plastic. It's me just taking it apart. And as you can see, it's a bit mangled now. So I didn't fancy putting that back. So when you will take this apart, this is the original backing. And there's a sticky layer on the back of the metal that protects. It's almost like a cage that protects the circuit board. Okay, and all of those little holes here is where the screws are taken out. Okay, so this is the back at the sticky bit. It's tacky, and this goes back. So if you guys are unsure of doing this, what I would say is you have to be extra careful with the heat of this on here, because as you can see, it's a bit curved. Now, let me just do the side profile bit. That's pretty good, but this end turned out to be, can you see that? It's a bit warped. So you're gonna struggle to get that flat when you put it back if you're not careful. And what I'd recommend is to put the temperature slightly lower. Now, as I said, I haven't put this back on, so I cannot show you. Well, you're going to have to do everything in reverse, but if you're going to go and do the this thing here, I will have another video to show you how to do that. And the reason why I've got these magnets is because there are magnets underneath. It's very flash, very nice, sleek. That being said, let's go through the gadgets that you'll need. So clearly I've got one of these, which is a craft board. It's quite thick. You can buy it. See that? And you can cut into it using this. So when you do cut, it won't score the surface of your desk. So it's protection. And that's in the video, as you can see. Also, what you're going to need are Phillips head screwdrivers. Can you see that? Of the cross type. And a smaller one, because at some point you're going to have to go really small. And I'll put the information in the description. You will need a scalpel. Also, you will need a ruler. Plastic ruler, and these are some files, needle files, which you will need to burr off, to shave off the burrs from your aluminium squashed hole. Okay, as you can see. So this is the other thing that you'll need, is a heat gun or hair blow. Okay, and if I put this on, there's a dial here with the temperatures in degrees C, and when you put it down, it switches off. just like that. See? Okay, we'll get to it in a minute. What I'm going to be doing here, guys, is this video here is a speeded up version of what I did in real time. And so it's going to be very quick. But what I will do is I'll just talk you at certain points what I'm doing, just so that you understand the techniques that I've applied in the background. Let's go for it. So this is the box I got with the heat station. So this video is roughly around 14 minutes. There's the heat at 316 degrees. So now what I'm doing here is I'm actually heating up the edges, and it's about an inch away from the surface, the grey surface. There you go. But what I recommend perhaps is to put it on a lower temperature, maybe 300 degrees C, because as I showed you earlier, it starts to what's the word? So I want my methodology here is I want to use the Stanley knife to start one corner to prise it open. It's just a thin layer because, as you can tell from the beginning, I want to detach the stickiness from the metal back. Bear in mind, people, that if you're going to use a sharp knife, do not force it, because you will cut yourself if you're not careful. So again, disclaimer, if you're a kid and you're not an adult, please make sure that you have an adult present. So this takes time and patience. And as you can see there already, that was the word, blister. The plastic will blister. I have to say, people, that when I was doing this, it wasn't probably as safe as I should have done, because I wanted to capture it all on the camera. So really, when you're doing it, take extra precautions and make sure you're safe doing it, because that blade could easily slip and cut yourself, and you can cut yourself. So my aim was to work down inch by inch on the back. So there you go. So my plan was to do the top and slowly work my way down on the heat. And once I managed to prise the first centimetre off, as you'll see, I used a plastic ruler to start wedging down and getting inside. There you go. When it's hot, the glue starts to become tackier and it's easier to remove. Of course, when it's now here, it's very tacky because it's not very hot. The other thing to note is there are little rubber pads here that can come out. You see, and there's a hole there. So if you're planning to reuse them, reuse the plastic, make sure you keep hold of the plastic grommets, because you don't want to lose them, and you want to put them back in like that. Oops. think the good thing about using a ruler is that it's quite wide. But the other thing is, I would highly recommend using a plastic ruler, because if you use a metal ruler, you could damage the inside or just scrape the metallic surface of the side. Also, don't be afraid to give it a bit of welly and get stuck in there and poke around. It's very forgiving. So I'm halfway now. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below and I'll get back to them. Thank you. The most expensive part of the tools that I used was the heat gun, as it were, and that was £55. I had rulers, I had the screwdrivers, and I had a craft mat beforehand. But you're probably looking close to £100 in total if you're willing to buy all the bits. And what I would recommend people is that make sure you have a big surface that you can do this on. You don't want to do it in a small place where you can't move around. And especially the screws that you're going to take out, you will need a little pot or a white container so that you can see them visibly. And you don't spill them, because that's the worst thing that could happen. What I've done, people, actually, is I'm going to take this apart, because what it is, the magnets help keep it in place. So this is the back of the Remarkable. Now, those I show you in that clip there, there you go. I'm trying to show you that there's a Phillips screw head driver, and I'm going to use that to undo each of the screws, the black screws. What I've done is I've put the screws back in here because I don't want to lose them. And I've just folded up a piece of paper into a container over there, which I'm going to use to put the screws on. What I'm doing there is I'm lifting up the adhesive layer so that it's uncovered the screw and I can have access to it. So I start my unscrewing, I don't know, 25 or 30 screws, I can't remember. There you go, it's starting to go one by one. So yeah, I've just put all the screws back here, it's fine. And that's how I haven't lost them all. So I'm going to go and put this back together again. Lovely. One thing I'd recommend is that if you can purchase a Phillips screwdriver that is magnetic, that would help enormously, because those little screws are very light and you don't really want to be putting your little fingers, your big fingers, and trying to pick them up, because it's very easy for it to fling off in a direction that you can't find, especially if you've got a carpet or a messy desk or room. You want a magnetic screwdriver so that it pulls it straight off and you can put it into the container. So what can I tell you about this? It is a remarkable design. I mean, just to think about the layer. We know that the Remarkable's 4.7 millimeters in width. Oh, here you go. Sorry, just gonna go back to it. Once you've undone the screws, there's a sticky adhesive there that sticks some of the metal backing to it. So once you have to use your Stanley knife again, really delicately, of course, to leverage it off. And now you can see the back, as you can see there. The one thing is, if you want to reuse your metal back and put it on afterwards, it's important to take really good care of it, because as you can see, I'm not a fan of it, because obviously I've got a different solution, but I would put this somewhere safe so that it doesn't get wrinkled, because this is very thin. And very sticky. So there are two pieces, okay? Now you'd probably ask me, what's the purpose of this? I think it's to act as a protector and shielding to the circuit. Oh, hang on. Just missed that bit, sorry guys. On that, I zoomed in, there's another screw, a silver screw that you need to carefully take away to undo the aluminium section there. And what I've just done is I've freed the switch at the top now, and look, hey presto, it's starting. Isn't that great? Yeah, as you can see, it was good. Just demonstrating. So what I'm doing here now, guys, is I'm actually going to get the needle file. There's one of these things over here. To one of these shoot. This needle file here to get rid of the burrs that was stopping the button from depressing itself. As you can see, I'm just taking away the squashed part. And so now it can fit nicely back in. I'm pushing it in with the screwdriver. And you could just about see it. It's got a millimeter pushing out now. So that means it's not permanently depressed. It's actually popping out. And as you can see, I just clicked on it and the switch works. So now I'm actually putting the screws back in. I'm using a smaller screwdriver because that screw is much smaller. And I'm putting the screw back in to secure the metal edge, the gunmetal edge that protects the side. So, and I'm just testing it out now. So yeah, here we go, guys. This is it, the end of it. Please like and subscribe. Anyway, guys, so that's pretty much it. If you want to know more details, please leave a comment in the description below, and give me a thumbs up if you like it. Ask any questions you want, and there will be a second video to show you how I created the back of this stunning device. Okay, I hope that was really informative. Again, any questions, let me know, and I look forward to doing more videos for you. Thanks very much.